This call is being recorded.
Welcome to the artwork of CP, everyone, slash Ask Win, because, of course, it's a double episode, and I apologize for the coughing attack. Believe it or not, I have had a little lovely stomach bug going, which I now got. So lovely. On Wednesday, apparently I looked white as a ghost. So I'm slowly recovering from that, and so I'm in my bed doing this podcast episode from my bed with blankets and a laptop. But that being said, on Wednesday, you guys should have seen me. I was white as a ghost. I could barely even speak, let alone. um, so we're doing much better on that front. But one programming announcement that if you go over to the artwork of jobs.libsyn.com, yeah, my podcast magically launched itself with me being sick. But so go over and take a listen to that. It's all about YouTube creation. And yes, Danielle and I are trying to get it into iTunes and all that. That's good stuff. As soon as it launches into iTunes, we'll let you guys know as soon as it launches into the podcast players. We'll let you guys know. But right now, it's over on the website. And so go, chew on that. Go listen to that. Go get more sample palsy goodness. And this, the artwork of jobs is all about YouTube and content creation. I interview content creators specifically on YouTube. And so go shoot with that. But today Danielle and I are going to talk about the language of CP. And for those of you that follow me on Facebook, know by now that I like to be loud when it comes to disability awareness. And that's the only way I can put it, you guys. Be loud and bark and squawk. And those of you who know me personally, like Danielle, knows I get my good on a lot when it comes to disability awareness. And unfortunately, that will get it gets positive comments. It doesn't get negative comments. It gets um, positive comments. But unfortunately, due to my loud mouth, I have been known to get in trouble for it. But that's another long story in itself. Why? And I have since rectified the me getting in trouble for it. And yeah, but when it comes to disability awareness, the journalist in me and the disabled advocate in me likes to bark and squawk and make a heck of a lot of noise about disability awareness. And I am working on a two fairly special interviews, two opposite ends of the spectrum, um, on two opposite ends of the spectrum on two different subjects that have something to do with disabilities. And yeah, so I'll let you guys know when those um, interviews come out. I am going to be working on something as of Tuesday, and then that may lead to a podcast interview because I have been dealing with something behind the scenes that now it's okay to make public light about it. And so, yeah. And so, Danielle, do you want me to read the Facebook post and then you chime in? Or do you want to take off on the iPad first?
Uh, 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 uh,
Okay, so I'll read this Facebook post in its own time to you guys. And you, because I'm not paying attention to the screen on Uber Conference, I will read and then we'll get back to Uber Conference. Okay. To anyone that reads this, as you know, 2019 was the worst year of my life. And pardon the soapbox, but as you know, I need 24-hour care. And I try to educate people about disabilities on a daily basis. But it's time to speak my mind and basically say I'm done with the lack of respect with people for people with disabilities. And what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to let you read this Facebook post, and I'll give the link to Danielle so she can pop it in the show notes, and you guys can friend request me on Facebook. Those of you that haven't requested me already. And so basically, what I said is stop picking on those with disabilities. Stop doing this monkey business of, yes, you have a disability. Yes, you can be mistreated. For those of you that listen to it, um, the episode called It, you'll understand what I mean by, and I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the episode called It. I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the episode called It. And the people that truly love me and truly care about me know not to bring it up with me. But to those of you that don't know what happened on June 23rd and living under a semi rock, I got emotionally abused by my family. And my family thinks that it's okay to contact me. And my family also thinks that it's okay to not apologize, which is not okay. It's not okay. Anyone in their right mind um, who heard what went on at my house would have come running to rescue me. Unfortunately, looking back on it, my family slash my chosen family, aka my aide at the time, um, didn't want to rock the boat because it was my family. And so basically, what Danielle and I are trying to say, and I'll also give um, Danielle the Facebook post, a link to the Facebook post. Um, but what Danielle and I are trying to say is if you are so inclined to speak about us behind our backs, that isn't gonna fly. And especially when I literally fly. Thank you very much. I'm missing Danielle's birthday. Thank you very much. I'm missing Danielle's birthday because I'm going to be out of town. And when I literally fly to Orlando to go to Pond Fest, I just booked my tickets on that one. And yeah. And so when I literally fly to go to Podfest with my aide, don't be surprised if you give me a hug. I don't be surprised if you meet this outgoing person who is more of a disabled advocate than you think I am, because this is my personality off mic too. And yes, I am getting a journalism degree. I will be getting a journalism degree. And so don't be surprised if if you come up to me and I give you a hug. And don't be surprised, guys. I say to the guys out there, if you have to lean over to give me a hug because I'm I'm gonna be sitting in a wheelchair, and so don't be surprised if you see a bright orange wheelchair floating around Podfest. Yikes, that's a little scary. And unfortunately, Danielle, I can't bring my partner in crime with me. And unfortunately, Danielle has to stay here and do other stuff. But Danielle knows what I'm going to do. She's fully aware of it. And so just be respectful of those with disabilities, and um you are not a true caregiver, which I shared on Facebook. You're not a true caregiver until you push a wheelchair on the beach. And trust me, there is certain people in my life who know about wheelchairs and beach and walkers and beach, and we managed with help. We managed. Oh goodness, that was a little bit of an interesting show. Uh, but I won't get into that one. But we managed. We just managed, and I'm very grateful for that experience back in October. That's one of the reasons why, when I was given the opportunity to go to Podfest, and see, this is how I roll. I enter a contest. I didn't even realize I won the dang thing until Podbean, who is a podcast provider, emailed me and said, "By the way, you won the dang thing," and I'm like, "Oh boy, oh boy." So that's that's why I that's why, because of the positive experience I've actually had in Orlando, that's why I decided to go back down and do Podfest. But when you guys see me, don't be surprised if I give you a hug. And then don't be surprised if I get on my soapbox about disability awareness. And for those who don't know, there's going to be a speaker down there who is completely blind. His name is Maxwell Ivy. I've interviewed him. I've had the opportunity to interview him twice, twice. And so, Danielle, see if you can pull the episode just so you guys can get a taste of who's going to be down there. And his his track, I believe, is called "Just do it on something, just do it on one of those puns because he's a phenomenal speaker and he's completely blind, you guys. And I can't wait to see him. I am super excited to see him. See, the problem with podcasts is that you guys get me stuck in your earballs, and then you never get to see the face behind the mic. So, so I just want to make sure that you guys are clear that I'm coming down full force, and this is going to be the new me, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And without the support of my friends, my chosen family, which happens to be AIDS are included in that one, I wouldn't be doing half the stuff I am doing. And so you have got to respect people with disabilities. I don't care if they have purple skin. I don't care. I don't care. But let's start respecting people with disabilities. And what a lot of people say to me, well, I've got this line for you, and um, this line is, thank God you only have a brain. I've got that one for you. I also heard the one, she, being me, is coping with cerebral palsy. I'm not coping with anything. Anything, you guys. Anything. I have been blessed with cerebral palsy. I Cerebral palsy, for those of you that don't know and completely living under rock, or is a neurological disability that causes pain sometimes, that causes really bad emotions if I don't watch it, and really, really, really icky stuff. Icky stuff. And I try and be the positive light that I can be. And I'm sorry if I get a little bit emotional. But when you guys say I'm coping with a disability, she's coping, it's like you're saying, oh, that person is coping with cancer. And no, oh, that person is coping with being deaf. No, oh, that person is coping with being blind. We are not coping with it. It's the disability. It's the how we deal with it, you guys. Coping is not Coping is not on the radar. Coping is not on the radar. Coping is you are coping with the common cold in my book. And in my book, coping is, yes, you're coping with a stomach virus in my book. Yes, you're coping with a common cold. But coping with a disability, come on, you guys. Come on. Think about it. Think about it. And I am sorry. I am so sorry for those of you who are listening to this and you're calling right now. On a Sunday, you're gonna get a soapbox out of me. But coping is not one of the terms I like to use. And that line, thank God you only have a brain, has now my a really close friend know knew that line because I told her about it, and she goes, no one knows, no one knows what it's really like to be trapped in your body. And I won't say who said that, and I won't say who said, "Thank God you only have a brain," and I won't say who said that line after I said to her, "You." I got the line, "You want, thank God you only have a brain," and thank God you have a brain, and she she just about flipped the lid, and I know, I know this person will eventually listen to this, and I know that this person will always, 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 because she's so compassionate, and it's not Danielle. Danielle knows who I'm talking about, but people who care about disabilities are number one in my book. People who absolutely care about disabilities. And the interesting thing is that I train my aides as they know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. And this goes to Danielle's aide too. Aides know absolutely nothing. They have no background in CNA, um, nursing care whatsoever, and all aides know absolutely nothing, and all aides just roll with the punches, roll with the punches, and some days are better than others. But we're not coping with the disability, you guys. We are dealing with the disability at hand, and I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the episode called It, which Danielle is going to put in the show notes. She's also going to find an interview with um, Maxwell Ivy, so you can hear him speak. So for those of you who are at Podfest like me, I we can see him speak together, and I'll show you guys what a disability is really like, and you guys can cultural immersion with me the week we're all at Podfest together. I keep wanting to call it Podcast Movement, but Podcast Movement is in Dallas, and um I don't think I can make it out there this year, but I want to eventually. And so, Danielle, do you want to say anything on the iPad?
Yeah.
The way we talk, we may shorten words like only type the first letters of artwork of jobs in a text.
And then, yeah, Danielle and I, because we know each other so well, um, that we end up typing text communications more than most. But there are times I say to Danielle, I did not get that. I trust me. Trust me. There are times I say to Danielle, I did not get that. And Danielle tries really, 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 really hard um, to communicate. And sometimes the iPad has to step in as a voice, which is perfectly fine. But as long as you guys respect women with cerebral palsy, we'll be perfectly fine. And we're still on the million download march, you guys. Um, believe it or not, just dawned on me um, as I was doing this episode. Why is Podfest? Why why has the universe aligned me to go to Podfest and physically see you guys and hug you guys during Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month? Why? why I'm not even asking that. I'm not even asking how the universe lined that one up. And I'm not even asking why, because I think I'm on a bigger mission. And I know that Danielle and I on a bigger mission. And people that know me personally that listen to this know that I will be doing podcasting until the day I die, until I can't do it anymore. And someone may have to control it for me, may have to control my laptop for me. And people, my aide says, I can't wait to see you go to Podfest, because I need to know, and this is interesting, I need to know what you do. I hear you. I hear you do this. I know you do this, but I need to know how to support you and how what you do. And I think because you people have been around me for almost 5 years. Geez, 5 years, a little over 4 years. I know that it's time to get on an airplane and go hug you guys and share coffees with you guys, or at least share juice with you guys, even though I don't drink coffee. And so share the quality time that you guys need. You guys need, and please don't pull tissues out of your purse when you guys see me, because that's not the point. The point is not to have grieving hour. For those of you that don't know, I got on a podcasting mic the day my dad died. The day my dad died, and we did. And Danielle, I want you to stick GSCP in the podcast notes as well. And because the day my dad died, we did GSCP and talked about my book, and I remember distinctly saying, and I was so matter of fact about it, I said, well, this is why we did the love that helps my dad. And I told you guys why I was despairing for months. And then I told you guys the final result. And I've been doing the podcast. I've been trying to do the podcast on a consistent basis, despite everything that went on. And I've been also trying to get a journalism degree, despite that everything that went on. And so I feel like it's time for me to make bigger and better moves outside the education field, because me coming from Aspen, Colorado, and to those of you that don't know this, I Aspen. Well, let's just put it this way: Aspen itself and Snowmass itself is Danielle's in Snowmass. I'm in Aspen, so we're about, I would say, a good 15 minutes apart. Maybe even 20, but Snowmass and Aspen of very, 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 very transit communities because of the cost of living up here. Now, Aspen and Snowmass, there's no way. There's no way that there are handicapped accessibility issues in Aspen, and thank God there's no handicapped accessibility issues in Orlando. Thank God, and because number one, it's the retirement capital of the planet, and so I'm really, really lucky that I'm able to travel and I'm able to come see you guys. But the work I do is spanning worldwide now. And so I'm just being mindful when you open up that door for me. You're gonna make my day. You're gonna make my day if you open up the door at Podcast Movement and say, "Win, here, grab the door," and grab the door. You're gonna make my day because a lot of those handicap buttons don't work. And for those of you that don't know, I'm on a diversity and inclusion committee at Country Day, and we're trying, but making it so handicap friendly and teaching about disabilities is difficult. And I'll get into why I'm officially retiring. You guys know that I'm retiring May 20th. You guys think it's about the paycheck. No, and I'll get into more of that on May 20th. We're dropping a special episode, Danielle and I, a bonus episode for Aspen, about maybe a bonus episode for the work of CP, and then I'll do a YouTube video about it. I almost called it YouTube TV, but that's not the point. And then I'll do a YouTube about it. But there's been things brewing that I don't like. And I don't like how I have been treated in education, and I'm done. I'm done with the rich beyond rich mentality of we send our kids to private schools, and I am done with the lack of respect for all educators. I don't care if you're in a Title I school trying to survive. I don't care if you're in a public school setting. I don't care. I just think especially with the private school sector, it's difficult. It's difficult, and I'm done with the lack of respect for teachers. I mean, I am so sorry for those of you that are close friends of mine and know, and the teachers out there will be screaming at their cell phones and saying, when are you leaving the education job? Well, walk a day in a teacher's shoes, so you guys. Walk a day in any teacher's shoes, and then add a disability on top of it. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying. It drives me nuts. The education field drives me nuts. Now, on the flip side, the education field as a student, I'm loving. But as a teacher, I give more respect and more kudos to those retired educators who did it. I mean, who did the special ed, and I give more respect to the teachers that taught me, whether it's in the educational setting or whether it's in general life. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I have rescued, and I I won't say this, but I have rescued two, and I know what one still does CNA work. The other one no longer works for me, but as long as I can teach the educators outside the classroom what it's really like to have CP, my job is done. My job is done. And now, granted, there's gonna be people who don't get it at all. And I'm hoping after Podfest that you guys do understand what it's really like having CP. And I just hope that you guys really get it. And so we're still on the million down. I wish it was $1 million to you guys. We're still on the million download march, and I want 1 million downloads by my backup date is my first date is May 19th, which will be a year out of my life tragically turning upside down, as you guys know. And then my backup date is actually my birthday, which will be June 22nd, 33. So my backup date, if we can reach 1 million downloads on all 3 podcasts, including the Artwork of Jobs, that would make me so happy. That would make me so happy that you guys wouldn't be ecstatic, because after my 32nd birthday last year, my life turned hell. My life turned hell for the worst, and I'm lucky to be back on my feet. I am lucky enough, by the grace of God, to be back up on my feet. And if it wasn't for those who truly cared about me, God knows I would be in a different place. And I told you what my family tried to do to me on the episode It, and I stopped them dead in their tracks, and I'm still dealing with the aftermath of it. My family still tries to contact me, and not my dad's side, but my mom's side still tries to contact me, and they know not to contact me. They've been told by certain individuals not to contact me, but yet they still do. And so I'm still dealing with the trauma of being emotionally abused. And I am emotional abuse survivor. And to those of you who are in similar situations, whether it's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. I can remember the other one, mental abuse. But to those of you who are in those situations today, get help. Get help, get help, get help, get help, get help. Now, what I generally learned is over the past months of dealing with this is over the past couple months of dealing with this is even though I had my stepmom, my aide who was with me at the time, and my stepsister all witnessed this. Abusers won't let the abusees go to their safe spot, and because if I was planning to go to a safe spot in my house, I was planning on having someone on my behalf call 911, and I was going to lock myself in my safe spot, and that would have been my bathroom. And what I've learned is that abusers are so powerful. They and I have spoken to other abuse victims, and what I've learned over the months of dealing with this in general is that the abusers won't let the abusees go to their safe spots. And so, even if you're trying to go into a safe spot to call for help, even if you do call Child Protective Services or Adult Protective Services. Yes, there's a thing called Adult Protective Services, and they do it state by state. A lot of people know about Child Protective Services state by state more than they do Adult Protective Services. But if you do that, just be aware that the abusers will come after you. Just be aware that when you go into that safe spot, wherever it may be, just be aware that the abusers will come after you, and the abusers will not like you for doing what you did, but your body's your body, and your body's your body, and each human has every right to not go through what I went through, and not go through what I went through, and I did, because my aides are so awesome at I actually did. I actually did take a shower that day, and I remember distinctly what I was wearing, and my abuser did not like my outfit because we somehow thought that that was our outfit. My abuser didn't like my outfit that day, and that's what started the heck breaking loose, because my abuser did not like the original outfit I had on, and unbeknownst to us, it didn't look like a PJ top. Thank you very much. yeah, it looks like a normal shirt, and I still have it. And I still have it. But my point being is small things can set views it off. And so if you're in that spot today where you're being sexually, emotionally, physically, or mentally abused by anyone, it can be a caregiver, it can be a family member, it can be anyone. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, and call me, call your support system, call me, call your support system. Say on Twitter, I need help. Say on some sort of social media that your abuser won't look at. I need help. Get out, get out, get out, get out to the nearest domestic violence center, because a lot of women, aren't as lucky as I am, and I've been blessed by God to be standing on my feet, and a lot of women that and it happens to guys too, trust me. And guys can do emotional abuse and physical abuse and domestic violence, but I just feel like get out. And to those of you that have old cell phones around, donate them, donate them, donate them to the nearest domestic violence center, because this, and tell them that, well, you don't need to tell them that I listened to a podcast with a young woman who was emotionally abused, but this is why cell phone companies hook up with these lines for hope, because people who abuse other people, one, it's not cool. Two, people that abuse other people, the victims need help. The victims need help. I mean, it's not all roses and sunshine, you guys. So the victims need help. And so, and unfortunately, for the witnesses, they have to go through a lot. They not only do the victims have to go through a lot, the witnesses have to go through a lot, and the chosen families or the biological families have to go through a lot too. And so I am just super lucky that I'm able to stand on my feet. But my advice to you guys would, to those of you that listen to this on the Ask Wendy feed or the Look of Jobs feed, is to get out, go to a safe space, and call whoever you need to call to just do a rescue mission. And you're allowed to say to anyone in the state of Colorado, anyone, and I believe this is a ground rule for all 50 states, get out of my house. If you don't feel comfortable with people in your house, you're allowed to say, get out of my house. Because that, and I know that is something that I should have done. I know that is something that I should have done. I should have had one of my witnesses say, "Get out of my house." And I had four people living with me at the time. So those I have one of them living with me right now, and who happens to be my stepmom. I had my stepsister, my aide, who lives with me at the time, and then I had my stepmom. So between the four of us, we could have said to my aunts who abused me, get out of this house. We don't want to see you. But because we were all dealing with what we were dealing with, which is grief, and my aide who wouldn't hurt to fly, and I'll admit that right now, she wouldn't hurt to fly. She's not the type to rock the boat. Where now looking back on it, I'm going to ask her eventually, did you hear what was going on? And because the way that it went on, she didn't want to rock the boat, nor did my stepmom, nor did my stepsister, and I wish that someone had. I wish that someone said, get out of Lynn's territory right now. You guys have no right to be in there, no right to be treating all of us how they did, and then I will maybe on my bills, I will actually state one of the questions my abuser asked me, and then I will actually also state one of the comments on my abuse monk, that one that my abuser's sister said said with my aide standing there, and that was a good one for the aide to hear or not. And so and so this story will never be ending, because I'm going to bark and squawk about physical abuse and emotional abuse to the day I die. And you guys have got to treat people with disabilities with respect. Danielle, do you want to say anything else?
Oh, see you.
Well, yeah. I know you agree with me because you wonder why, and so I know you agree with me, but point being, and if you ever, ever, ever think there's emotional abuse happening with a disabled person in the home, report it. The people that you can report it to. And I just found this out the other day because you can actually report it, you guys, to a counselor who's trained, who's a first reporter, any, and I mean any teacher who's a first reporter. And when I say first reporters, they know to report it to either adult protective services or child protective services. So a counselor, a teacher, or even a voc rehab counselor, because emotional abuse, physical abuse, neglect of the disabled has got to stop. Has got to stop. And I'm not kidding. I will bang the drum And if I'm not careful at PodFest, I will bang the drum. And you guys know when I bang the drum, I don't get off the drum very easily. And so you guys know that I'm going to teach in a completely different classroom on about disabilities in Orlando, and I will be down there March 2nd through March 9th. I land March 2nd. I will be down there through March 9th. The conference doesn't start until Friday, March 6th, goes through Sunday, March 8th. I leave that following Monday. So, for those of you who are all listening to this and want to see me in private, and you guys know how to get a hold of me, you guys can email me, you guys can shoot me a DM, you guys can call me. Those of you that have my number, I'm very, very, very accessible. And in fact, my number is on Ask Win, or you can shoot a text message to Danielle and say, I want to meet with Win in Orlando, and she'll get it to me. And so that's how we're going to do it, you guys, because I so want to meet with you, not only at Podcast Movement, but beforehand, because you guys have been on this wild journey with me called cerebral palsy and being an orphan. And so you guys are loved, you guys are respected. Let's have fun, let's learn a lot, and let's make this world a better place. Thanks, you guys. Bye, you guys.
Yeah.